Hello everyone, this is Kyrix with another edition of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, June 28th of 2017. Let's get started. Alrighty, for first off, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I may have. When I came in second place, what have we got here? What's an iron bar? I don't think I have any of those as per yet. Anyway, hi Willow. When I took second place in that Star Trek tournament, turns out I actually earned $5 in store credit. In response to that, I won't say agonized, but I thought long and hard about what ship do I want? Because that's $15 as it turns out. I hope I said 15 and not 5, but $15 as it turns out is how much it costs to get a starship. Yeah, for the low price of $15 you can have this Defiant class. No, seriously though, that's what a ship costs in Attack Wing. So I'm like, fuck it, that's a free ship. It didn't occur to me until after I had them reserved, hey, that's also 1 to 3 months of tournaments for free, depending on how much they decide to charge that month. But fuck it, I'd rather have something concrete. It's a lot easier to justify saving $15 or $10 or whatever for a tournament than it is just for the ship. Because the tournament gets me out of the house, whereas the ship, if I don't go to tournaments, is just going to sit there and rot, you know? But anyway, the ship I chose was the Klingon Rotaran. It was between that and the Ningtao, which is also a Klingon ship. And the Ningtao, both the ships themselves are not fantastic compared to a couple of the ships that I have. I have a couple Klingon ships that I default to. So you're thinking, well, Kyrix, if you don't want the ship, why are you getting the ship? It's because, my dear straw man, yeah, I'm straw manning my audience. I'm such a good person. It's because when I get a ship, it comes with not just the ship, but crew and weapons and tech and captains and shit. And that is actually the gist of why the Rotaran is such a big deal. The Rotaran has really good crew, especially for Klingons. I don't remember most of them, but the big one is it comes with Worf. And Worf as a crew basically says, hey, add 1 point to your captain skill, which is always good. Or 3 if it's a Klingon. That'll come into play in a minute. So plus 3 to a Klingon captain. Awesome. Plus, if the captain is disabled or killed, he becomes my captain with, I believe, a 4 or 5, which is normal. There are a lot of Klingons that do something similar. Where it's like, hey, I'm the captain now. But, there's also Jadzia Dax, who's a Federation that doesn't take penalties for being on a Klingon, which is nice when you can mix and match like that without penalty. It also comes with, I forget if it had good tech and elites, but it had timed torpedoes, and I'm experimenting with those. So if I can get another one of those, that'll go real good on Chang's Bird of Prey. But for now, I have the one from the Rotaran. So why do I want the Ningtao? Well, the Ningtao doesn't come with any... It's got some crew, some this, some that. Nothing that leaps out and says, hey, you must possess this when it comes to crew and tech. And the torpedoes that it does come with are the old-style disable torpedoes. I'm not looking to get more of because I have plenty from all factions. Or at least those that have it. Like, for example, the Xindi came out when timed torpedoes were a thing, so none of their torpedoes are disabled. They're all timed. I almost got a Xindi ship. I had all 3 to choose from. All 3 of the retail ones, that is. And the retail ones are different from the non-retail, by the way. But I had all 3 of them to choose from, and I opted not to. Though I was tempted, especially to get the Reptilian, which is the one I already have. But the Ningtao comes with 4 great captains, one of whom is also an admiral. So I'm thinking, wow, I could use really good leader stuff. Like, I think the Martok on it is like, hey, you can, all your Klingon shit costs less. And then there's two versions of core. There's old core and young core. I think the old core is, hey, everyone that can has to attack me. Young core does something good. Worf does something pretty good, but not better than his crew. So I'm like, well, what do I need now? Right now, I need the crew because I play a lot of high-tier Klingons, like the Duras sisters. Together, they're an 8-rank captain. Well, with Worf on there, they're now an 11-rank captain. There is the highest captain rank printed is a 10, and that's on the queue. So, and she costs like 7 goddamn points. So that's a little extreme. She might even cost 8. It's been a while. But the idea that I can have the Duras sisters with an 11, meaning I do everything first. Like, or rather, I move last, which is a huge advantage. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is. Because that means by the time you move, your opponents are already where they're going to be. So there's no surprise. It's like, oh, they're going to move here, you know? And you get to target lock them because you know where they're going to be, you know? Or you get to do a thing like, oh, I'm going to sensor echo, because that way I'm in you're in my front arc, but I'm out of yours kind of thing. And on top of that, I can turn around and play that Fleet Commander card, which lets me play a second captain. Put Martok on there, and now all my Klingon shit that's not a captain costs 1 less. The ship doesn't, but I mean, my cloaking shit, my weapons, my crew, my tech, my elite talents, all that shit, 1 point less. And that adds up. And there's no, like, oh, maximum of 7 or something like that, like how Picard is a max 5. So that adds up in a real tangible way. So that's cool. So the Ning Tao is a secondary concern for me. The Ratarans got so much shit that I'm like, I need this now, you know. On a side note, the Kyrix player, formerly referred to as the driver, is moving to Tampa. Now, Tampa's not exactly in my backyard. Like, say, if she'd moved to St. Pete when I was in Largo, it would have been. But it's a damn sight closer than Gainesville, where she was now. Or is now. She's, like, already got her clothes there, she's got an interview there, etc. So she might make Kyrix now and then, but she's going to definitely make Star Trek. I'm going to try and talk her into doing some other stuff. Just coming to hang out, because I am fucking starved for human interaction. Not that that's the only reason I'd hang out with her, but just that adds to it. So, Pokemon. The main judge guy was there, and I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry, I tried to get the Mew, couldn't get the Mew. He's like, oh, that's okay. You tried, and I did. But I've been breeding Pokemon. Because I'm like, oh, I want to breed this, I want to do that, you know, I want to possess this. Like, I've been trying to build what I call the Princess Force, which is finally getting my female Espeon, my female Umbreon, and so on. Well, while I was doing that, I bred a perfect stat 6 IV male, which I don't need. He doesn't have his hidden ability, but that's not important right now, because I have 2 male Eevees that one has and one does not have their hidden. They're both Vaporeons. And and they have 6 IVs, so I don't need a 3rd male. Because if I want one that doesn't have its hidden, well, I can breed it with the hidden and use an ability capsule. Or I can just breed the one that doesn't have his hidden. And if I want one that has his hidden, I breed the one that has his hidden. You know, it's that fucking simple. I have my breeder pair. Literally. And of course, on top of that, I now have a male Lopunny without a hidden that also has 6 IVs. So that's 2 out of the beast category right there, or the field category right there, that I can breed stuff with. So that's rather good. And for the record, when you're looking for breeders, 6 IVs on the males. Unless you're doing like Eevees, where it's like a 6 IV female. You know, like I have a 6 IV female Eevee without her hidden. So that if I want to breed perfect Eevees, I put her, or rather if I want to breed perfects without their hidden, I put her with either of the males. And if I want one with the hidden, well, I breed one of those 2 perfect males with any of my 3 current females, which are, Cadence, Celestia, and Luna. You know, Sylveon, Espeon Umbreon, you know. Die already. I'm tired of you chasing me. I got shit to do. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this extra mail that I don't need? I'm like, hey, I was going to trade him or give him away, but I'm like, hey, how about this? I'm going to put him up as a tournament prize. And I talked to the judge. I'm like, hey, is there any chance next week, which it won't be next week, we'll get into that in a minute. I'm like, next week, could we hold a tournament? He's like, yeah, I can do that. I can even make it official. I'm like, cool. And then I asked him, can it be all normal types? Because Eevee is a normal type. And I don't mean base normal types, like, oh, you have to use this. Anything with normal type in it can do it. Like, for example, you can use Pidgey. That's the example I used. Pidgey is normal flying. Nothing against Pidgey. I wouldn't recommend Pidgey. I'd recommend Pidgeot, but, or Pidgeot, rather. But Pidgey is allowable for those reasons. You know. Like, I have exactly one pure normal type on my team, and the rest are all dual types. And I said Arceus, Silvally, and Type Null were available, but they only if you're not using their items that change their type. Because Arceus doesn't become normal flying, for example, he becomes flying. Okay, we're done. We're done here. Nope, none of your shit. So yeah, that's in the works, but not next week, because it was brought to my attention with HeroClix that the 4th of July is next Tuesday. So happy 4th of July to my American viewers. And I do have viewers from other countries, but mostly for my music videos. So I do kind of have to specify that, even though I don't think I have international viewership outside of my music videos, I'm still going to specify that. So, week after next, normal type tournament. I'm going to enter just so that I can play, or rather, I'm going to enter if there's room. Like, for example, if we have 8 people, which I don't think, because I think we have maybe 4 or 5 people that play the game. But let's say we get 8 people. That's a nice tournament bracket number. If we have 8 people, I'm not going to jump in, because then someone gets a buy round when it's not necessary. If we have 7 people, you bet your ass I'm going to play. Well, that brings up the very important question of, well, Kyrix, what if you win? Then Eevee goes to 2nd place, because the whole point of this tournament is I don't need him. But yeah, I've got my team designed, and I've got half of them bred, including, I'm going to spoil this now, I'm using Pyroar. I'm using a male Pyroar. I'm also going to say that, aside from one Pokemon, that is to say my pure normal type, I have never used any of these in any kind of capacity. Also, one of my Pokemon is only contingent on whether or not the Mega Stones are available by them, which tells you right now it's Lopunny. Because there are only 3 Mega Stones that are quote-unquote available soon. The ones I entered the Tiny Tournament for, which is Gallade, Lopunny, and Gardevoir. Only one of which, you'll note, is a normal type, so that spoils it. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. None of these people watch my channel. Here's the team as it stands now. Heliolisk, normal electric. Pyroar, normal fire. Braviary, normal flying. Hold on, I lost count. Lopunny, or rather Mega Lopunny, normal fighting. Get me to the exit. Don't wanna pass out, don't wanna pass out. Fuck, it's one of those. Ah, fuck it. I guess I'm passing out. Well, I'm gonna pass out with a bunch of cool shit then. Because there's no way, even if I got to the exit, that I'd make it home in time now. So let's grab all these goodies. Alright, what have I got here? Let's put the stuff that I want to lose least up front. That way I can keep an eye on it. Things I want to lose least right now are these. Anything else, if I lose it, I'm fine. But the shit that's up front is the shit I want to keep. But yeah, we got Heliolisk, Pyroar, Braviary, Megalopunny, Eevee. What the fuck was that last one? Oh, Sawsbuck, which is normal grass. So I got grass, fire, flying, electric, and fighting with my normal types. And even then, that doesn't necessarily tell you how I'm building them, so. And I have taken to using this new Pokédex app that I have on my phone that's like, hey, here's this thing, it shows you all their egg moves, it shows you this. Or rather, it doesn't show you all their egg moves unless you look at the base form, because obviously, you can't get Sylveon any egg moves, you have to get Eevee egg moves. You know what I mean? It's annoying little semantic bullshit. But it is what it is, okay. Oh good, I seem to have lost nothing unless they picked out individual items. Well, obviously I've lost some money. Or maybe I didn't. Oh, Christmas. Mayor Lewis. Oh no, I got Shane this year, okay. Mayor Lewis, that's a thing. So, there's my watering can. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be in 2 weeks. On a Tuesday. Which ironically would be the day we're coming back to Kyrix, but I've already told everyone I'm skipping that one, because I don't have the money. You know? Oh, that's right, Friday. Friday we now do something called Dungeon Crawl Classics up at the bookstore. Hold on. It is a D&D style game. I'm sorry about the sneezings, but it's a thing that happens. Anyway, D&D style, and it is very reminiscent of what I wanted to do for D&D Real. To the point where I have fine-tuned my concept of what D&D Real was going to be based on the shit that I saw in this particular RPG. Basically, the tagline is, oh, you're not heroes, you're just scoundrels and adventurers and shit like that, but you're not heroes. But you start out, like, for example, you start out with 3 level 0 characters. Heretofore referred to as cannon fodder. And these level 0s are, you know, kind of the scum of the earth. No. The level 0s, you're only expected to have 1 make it through the adventure. I actually made it through with 2 of them, and then one of them gets promoted to level 1, and the other one just kind of goes back into the pile. Unfortunately, my cool one wasn't the one that made it. I had a cool one. Basically, I had a butcher that I named Shen, because he had really high agility and shit, so I figured he's got, like, those Japanese sushi bars where they twirl the shit and all that. I had Kyle, who was a farmer. And I had Merp. And I called him Merp because his stats were garbage, and he had, like, low intelligence and all this shit. Oh, I've forgotten all about this. And Merp was just kind of there, you know? Merp was just this sad fact of life that the others exploited, and I mean that. But, anyway, Merp had a sling, Kyle had a pitchfork that was a spear, and Shen had a cleaver with which I used to obscenely great effect. I mean, it was literally scary, some of the shit that Kyle did with that. Or not Kyle, but that Shen did with that. So, is this the one? No, this is. Okay. But yeah, Kyle, for example, or not Kyle, Kyle's the one that lived. Shen kept using, we had this, we tripped these 2 events that basically should have TPK'd us. Those who don't know, TPK, total party kill. Meaning a wipe. Meaning, roll up new sheets, guys, we're boned. But, turns out we did pretty good. They were against these groups of beastmen. And, my guys stayed behind while everyone else went ahead. Because I basically played them off as... Alright, for starters, each of us got a rumor as to why we were going in these ruins, and my rumor was, hey, there's a tower there that's just full of gold. You know? And my thought to that is, fuck everyone else, that's my gold. So I played them as just these scoundrels completely out for themselves. They'd use the others, might even befriend them, but first and foremost, take care of us, you know? So, let these idiots go into danger while we stay behind. Well, by me staying behind, that tripped guys from the guardhouse, 2 of them, against my 3 guys. Well, they're beast men. Like, we had one that had a cockroach face, we had like a goat-headed guy, you know. And Shen the Butcher goes first, and I just run into battle screaming, "Exotic meats!" and cleave this guy with one shot. Just boom, goes down. And then Shen gets the fuck skewered out of him, and he died. Which left Kyle and Merp. And between Kyle and Merp, they finished off the other guy. Well, Kyle had a spear for reach, and Merp had a sling for range, so I didn't have to get really in the mix. Among the beastmen was this one really fucking big guy. And Kyle basically... No, he didn't basically. He did. He fucking critted the guy. And he had this big axe, and as soon as the guy went down, I'm like, dibs. And I have that axe now. But yeah, Kyle fucked that guy up, and he and Merp both survived. Merp is in the pile. Kyle is now a cleric. Ironically, I was playing him. They have lawful, neutral, and chaotic like D&D 1. And I was playing them as chaotic, even though that's frowned upon. Well, it turns out chaotic clerics, one of their encouraged weapons, is an axe, so I'm keeping that fucker. And we're going back Friday, playing our level 1 characters for the first time, and I'm excited. Gives me a D&D-ish game to play, and they roll some weird-ass dice, like a D24, a D30, D4, or not D4, D5, D7, shit like that. Weird dice. Not necessarily unheard of dice, but definitely not the kind of shit you average playing with, you know? Nothing wrong with them. Gonna take me some getting used to figure out what does what, but, well, there you have it. Shit. Well then, I just realized something. I'm gonna have to write a note that Shane is my character to buy the present for, somehow. I'm gonna do it now. I gotta run out the clock a bit anyway. I'm almost tempted to just play out that far, but that'll throw off my whole groove, you know, for lack of a better term. So yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, got the driver moving back, got a new Trek ship for free, got D&D-ish going fine, got my RPG going fine, that'll be a lot of fun. Skipping clicks for a little bit, because it's a draft, and even if I did have the money, my funds are so fucking tapped that I'd rather save them just in case. But I've got a couple job options that I'm going to try and run with at least one of in the near future. And, oh, here we go. And once I get a job, I will be all in back on clicks. And it's a shame, because this is a set that I'm really interested in. You know. I'm really feeling this set. Okay, part of me really truly wants to just grab one of those swords from him, but we're too close to spring. You know, I need every single Stardew Valley coin, whatever that fucking monetary system is, that I can get a hold of. I think it's gold, to buy crop seeds. You know, so fuck that. So yeah, in the meantime, we've got, yeah, once I get a job, well, or rather, I did the once I get a job thing. Anyway, this set has the Runaways, and I'm a big fan of the Runaways, so I kind of want... I told the Kyrix judge, I'm like, hey, can you hook me up with the Runaways, with the possible exception of the Super Rare? I mean, if he can give me the Super Rare, add it to my thing. Incidentally, I owe him $520 total. I asked him last time we talked, so I now know. I honestly thought I was up to 600 already. But, again, that's neither here nor there, really. So, yeah, once I get a job, I got no problem taking money and buying cases and cases of HeroClix. Because the What If set, I'm not invested in most of the characters, but I'm sure there's some good figures in it. The Wonder Woman set I want, if for no other reason than I like Wonder Woman and it's got Teen Titans in it for some reason, because it's a movie set. What the fuck are the Titans doing in there? But yeah, that's a thing. You know, I want the Elseworld set, which is DC's What If, but I don't have any money, so I mean, I'm getting like 2 boosters tops, maybe 3 if I win, you know. So I'm not super invested in doing something like that right now. Again, once I get a job, that all comes on the table. But that's in a what if future of my own where I have that job. Okay, let's make some more of these, because I'm going to need more of these so I can do less work in the springtime. Right. So, yeah, skipping clicks. Besides, even if I weren't going to skip it normally, I'm holding a tournament that week. I am holding the tournament that week. I kind of have to show up, you know? Because what if the person who wins doesn't come for a week and then I'm back at clicks, you know? It's just be a bitch and a half to get them their prize. Plus, I want to fight in that tournament, too. But yeah, I have weaponized my phone app so that it has things like, oh, you've seen it, you've caught it, etc. And the scene is like you click the picture and it fades out if you haven't seen it. I'm basically using that feature to say, hey, I have this Pokemon trained for battle. I have this Pokemon trained for battle. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've seen every one of them, you know, so why not, right? Marshadow, the one Pokemon that everyone's missing, comes out in July, like the 16th or something, so... In July, I'm going to have the full Pokedex for realsies. Not just, oh, I've got everything that's legal. No, I've got everything. I can see through time and space. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Marshadow. For one thing, it's a cutie. For another thing, it is a unique typing. And I mean that literally. Up until this point, there has been no Pokemon with this typing. That typing being Ghost and Fighting. And I kind of want to see what I can do with Ghost Fighting. But yeah, now that I'm back into the Pokemon League, I am slowly but surely just getting back into my heavy breeding. I am just churning these little fuckers out. And I'm going to try and talk to the driver and see if she will once a week make the trip down here, or at least on the weeks that I go, and hit the Pokemon League with me, you know? We need more Pokemon people. There's this weird kid at the league, and I don't mean weird in a bad way, but he's definitely weird. He will walk up to people and he'll lay like 5 cards down, like, hey, pick a random card, you know, and he'll throw some good shit in there. And just have people pick at random. And he was doing that with stacks of cards, too, so I have a fuck ton of Pokemon cards now thanks to this kid. I even told him, like, I don't actually play. You just put a stack down in front of him, like, okay, thank you. You know? But yeah, he does that. He'll wander around doing that. He's a damn sight better than this kid that was there yesterday. And he was young, and maybe that's the problem, but he struck me as a little challenged, if you know what I mean. And this is coming from someone who is 80% sure that I myself am autistic. So, I'm not fucking retard shaming here. I've probably got the same thing. But he was basically walking around and just shoving himself in everyone's business. And like, oh, I want to see this Pokemon. Do this, do this. No. We're having a battle. You want to get your own game and sidle up and get next in line, that's one thing. Oh god. I played this one guy last week. This red-haired kid. And for the most part, he whooped my ass. And we had a rematch this week, and I actually, since I wasn't trained for the Tiny Tournament anymore, I broke out my real battlers. The ones that are tried and tested. And he's like, you were going easy on me. I'm like, no, I was just using a team that wasn't that great. That's the same. I'm like, no, I was testing them for a tournament. And I don't remember if we fought 3 times, 4 or 5 times, but I had 3 wins over his ass because I ran the tables on him. In one of them, I used Blaziken, who pretty much swept his whole team and died in the last turn. But here's the kicker, he never touched Blaziken. Blaziken died because, A, I have a move called Flare Blitz that does a percentage of the damage I do back to me, and he hits like a truck. First time I hit him, there went a quarter of my health. On top of that, he's using what's called a Life Orb, which does even more damage to me. It does like a small fraction each time I do an attack. So what happened was, I killed myself with my own attacks. 2 other times I used Espeon and walled his entire team because circumstances basically arose that I was able to kill the only physical attacker he had on his team. And Espeon is a special wall, so special attacks aren't doing shit. That was interesting. But yeah, in the first one, I had my Drift Blim out, and I got a round of Minimize in, and then I then 2 stockpiles, which meant I had 2 evasion, 2 special defense, 1 defense, and then I Baton Pass, which passes those on, to Espeon. And then I Calm Minded so that I had 6 to special defense and 6 to special attack. So he wasn't hitting me at all, plus I have a healing move called Morning Sun. So he wasn't doing shit to me. He also has Espeon, that one was the male, also has a power called Stored Power, which is attack power 20 for every stat up you have. And I had a lot of goddamn stat ups. So that was fun. So I was literally one-shotting. He sent a Psychic type out, and I fucking clocked it in 1 hit. Alright, not buying shit just to buy it. We will buy the goat's milk? Maybe. Do I need that particular thing? Pantry. Not the pantry. Perhaps? No, that's foraging. Maybe it was the pantry. Yeah, it was definitely the pantry, because that's the animal bundle and shit. Nope, got the goat, so... Alright, don't need the goat. We're good. That might be Skinner, because I told him, hey, there's a sale on Steam. Actually, it's the roommate's girlfriend. She's sick right now, and she's asking me to put clothes in the dryer for her, and I got no problem doing that. I just gotta finish this first. Oh, me and Star and a couple of her viewers played Cards Against Humanity Sunday night. It was a lot of fun. They were worried, or rather, it wasn't on her stream like it was originally planned, because she was worried that I would say something that would get her kicked out of a group she's in, which is Gamers Fighting Depression. Which sounds like a pretty good group, but from the way she was talking, they sound also a little SJW-y. I don't know. I have no bearing on what they are, so if they're not, I'm sorry. But it was unanimously agreed, including by me, that yeah, it would come up. I would definitely say something that would get her banned. Not on purpose, just in the process of being me. But We had like 2 matches for 10. The star wasn't even in the first one because she was asleep. We started without her. Then the third one was 20 points. And people kept coming in and out of that one, so that one lasted forever. I ended up winning. It was fun. Want to point out that was the only one I got any blank cards in. And that was a big part of why I won. And I kept telling them, like, you don't know how fucked up I am until you see me get a blank card. And I got a blank card, and they saw, and they're like, wow, you're fucked up. Can I go this way? No, I cannot. Okay. So that was fun. Been working on the 4-job Fiesta. I'm actually at another stall point, which is where I have to grind. Not a big grind, not like the last 2 times I had to grind. This is a small, simple grind point where it's just I gotta get some money to get some equipment. You know? Because I got my 4th job, which is Samurai. I don't have any kind of katanas. But Bart's has this dagger that basically blocks. It gives me, like, some evade chance and shit like that. Right now I've got that on Galuf, who's my samurai. I've got that on him, I've got an elven mantle on him, and he by default dodges shit. So Galuf is damn near untouchable as it stands right now. So I'm kind of having an internal debate with myself. Do I want to keep that dagger on him, or give it back to Bart's? And that decides what kind of weapon I'm having. Because if I give it back to Bart's, I don't need to buy the dagger, but I do need the katana. If I have him keep that dagger, I don't need to buy a katana, but I need a new dagger for Bart's. Plus, there's weapon and armor upgrades for all of them. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry about the dead air. Roommate's like, also, can you bring me a bottle of water from the trunk? No problem. So, yeah. On the plus side, that Steam sale goes on until the 5th of July, and I get paid on the 3rd. So, my plan to get Death Road to Canada is now cheaper, because that's on sale by like $4. $4 doesn't sound like a lot, but that's almost the price of an average tournament for me. Plus, yesterday, roommates actually gave me some money, because I got a text, hey, could you go pick up Chinese food for us? Or could you go get food for us? So I came out, I'm like, where am I going? Chinese place on 3rd and 3rd. That is, south side. I'm like, sure, I'll do that. And he's like, here's $30, you keep what's left. And what's left was $5. And I gotta say this, St. Pete's a really weird city, because the architecture's all over the place. But when you get up towards and past Central Avenue, it is so pretty, just aesthetically. I'm riding up 3rd Street towards 3rd Avenue South, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm at Disney World, because some of the places looked like some of the shops and shit. I'm like, this is... Because here's a weird thing, and feel free to laugh at me about this, because this is kind of mock-worthy. Disney calms the shit out of me. I don't know what it is. But if I see something that reminds me of Disney World, and it doesn't have to be much, it could be something as simple as seeing a bus stop, and I mean a large bus stop, that has coverings. And when I say coverings, I don't mean bus shelters, I mean like those sort of tin roofs that just shade you from the sun, with like benches. They have those at Disney, and that triggers Disney memories in me. And that just kind of soothes me. It's just like, oh, it's like Disney. Now I'm happy for some reason. It's simple, stupid shit like that. Or if I see a shop, like I passed a shop that reminded me of one of the shops in Tomorrowland. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. It looks like Tomorrowland. And it's just kind of a thing. It's a thing with me. I don't know what it is, and I don't care. Because living in St. Pete, there's a lot of shit that reminds me of that, so it puts me in a good mood. Not that I'm not... I'm generally... I spend about 70 to 80% of my time in a good mood. I'm a fairly positive person. I really am. Doesn't come across that way on my channel. I'm a ragey little bitch on my channel. But in general, I am really kind of a happy guy. I just have the ability to enjoy myself, which is an ability many people sadly seem to lack. And I'm not talking depression. Depression's something chemical in your brain. That's not your fault. I mean, people can't just sit down and watch a dumb movie and enjoy the fact that they're watching a dumb movie. It's always, oh, this raped my childhood. No, it didn't. Okay? It didn't. I actually enjoyed the Avatar movie. That is to say, Airbender. And I'll agree, it was not very, very great. It wasn't. But I enjoyed it anyway. Because, quite frankly, the thing that I don't like, the legitimate things that I don't like, and these are what I consider legitimate gripes, were the name pronunciation. Would have been fine if Avatar: The Last Airbender had been a book series, you know. But it was like a 50-something episode long TV show. And every episode you hear, Aang, Aang, Aang. Not that hard. Ong! No, try again. You know, it's not that fucking complicated. And the fact that the choreography was so fucking slow. Like, oh, let's do this long choreographed slow dance to bend Earth, and the Earth goes really slowly. First off, it'd be so easy while you're doing these stances to chuck a rock at your fucking head. Secondly, I could have dodged those rocks because they weren't moving that fast. They were an underhand softball toss to your 5-year-old kid. That's the speed they were moving. But I don't have a problem with the pacing. I don't have a problem with the shit they cut out. Because they adapted 26 episodes into a single movie. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Really, it should have been 4 movies for book 1. It really should have. But here's the thing that I give it credit for that not a lot of people do. They did an entire season of a show in a single movie and didn't miss any of the important shit. All the important shit was there. And they managed to throw in what I consider some fluff. Like rescuing Haru's Earth Village. I didn't consider that all that important to the grand scheme of things. It was basically one more character during the Day of Black Sun. And his father. You know? And Haru didn't really play a huge role in that. And he played no real role after that. So that was minor shit to me, but they still included that in there. And that was pretty cool. And I can sit down and enjoy that for what it is. It's not much, but what it is I can enjoy. People hate the prequels. This isn't Star Wars! Since when are you the arbiter of what is and isn't Star Wars? Seriously, when did you buy the franchise? Disney is now the arbiter of what is and isn't Star Wars. But you're fucking not. You didn't buy that shit from Lucas. You know? And you're sure not buying it from Disney. They're making money off that shit. But, here's the thing with the prequels. I like them better. I really do. I always have. And don't take that to mean that I don't like episodes 4 through 6. They are, by far, my least favorite, though. Because I don't like the Empire era. Because, let's face it, the Empire era was a hopeless time. The Rebels had hope, but they were the only ones who did. And when I get into Star Wars, I like Jedi. That's what gets me into Star Wars. If you take Jedi out of Star Wars, I wouldn't fucking watch it. I really wouldn't. Because here's the thing. I can get good guys versus bad guys in starships anywhere. You know? I could watch... If I wanted to watch Star Wars, I'd just watch The Last Starfighter if we're taking Jedi out of the equation. You know? Or I could watch... Fuck it, I could watch... If I want to see army fights, I'd watch Starship Troopers or something like that, you know? But if you want to see space monks with laser swords, you gotta go to Star Wars. And guess which of the 2 trilogies had more of those? That's right, the prequels. And to me, that's one of the main things of Star Wars. And it doesn't help that all of the Luke era lightsaber fights were fucking garbage. Best fight was Luke versus Vader on the Death Star 2. And that doesn't even hold up versus fucking Qui-Gon and Maul in the desert of Tatooine. Much less any other lightsaber fight. It just doesn't. But you know what? If you're like, hey, Kyrix, we're going to watch The Empire Strikes Back, aka your least favorite of the entire series. Cool. I'll watch The Empire Strikes Back with you. That's a great movie. Because don't take least favorite for meaning hate it, want to set it on fire. You know? If I'm given an option of the 7 movies to watch, that's going to be near the bottom of my list. But if it's on and you want to watch it with me, I'll watch it. You know? Anywho, that is enough. I am done. I've got to get clothes in the dryer and get a bottle of water for the roommate. So I will see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.